by charging your motorcycle battery. And if you're in a storage shed like I am, I'm living in a van right now and I have my stuff in a storage shed, so I don't really have nowhere to charge up my battery except with the solar generator. So you can either just use the clamps. I unhooked my battery. You can see the negative. The positive I keep hooked up, but the negative I unhooked because I'm going to let it sit for a while. So if you ever let your motorcycle sit like more than a week, just unhook your negative battery cable and it'll stay charged. As long as your battery's good, it'll stay charged a month or more. But this one I think was still at, I pretty much fully charged it before I left about a month ago. And it was at like 3.8 or 12.4 when I checked with my Dominator. You want to get one of these if you don't have one. You just put it on a 12 volt. You just put your clamps on. The black for the negative, the red for the positive. You check how much voltage it has. This is good to have too. I always keep an eye on my vehicle batteries, motorcycle batteries. I'd get a Dominator to check your battery. But also I have this connection I can hook up with this. But this is only, this is hooked up to the battery, to my battery charger. But this is only, will work if you have it connected to the battery. Which I got the cable I tucked away right here because I'm not using it. Even when I hook up my battery, I'm not using it. I'd rather just, well, I charge it like this because I got to hook the negative anyways if I'm going to let my motorcycle sit. But if I'm doing a bunch of short trips and I just want to charge up my battery, and sometimes I'll leave this connected. And that is to this right here. You just connect it to the negative. Which is the, yeah, you can see the negative right there, that mark. And then the positive is this other mark under that wire. You can kind of see there. I don't want to move that wire. But anytime you let your battery sit more than a week, I mean, maybe even 2 weeks, it'll be okay. If you just do it like, if it sits for like a month and it's fully charged and your battery's in good health, I mean, it'll still start up sometimes. But you want to, as long as you unhook it and you hook it, you'll be all right. But if you really want to, but after that month, I would charge it or take it for a ride. But you really like once a month, unless you have no other choice, you want to try to charge up your battery, once every 2 months for sure, every 3 months maybe. I don't know. I mean, you can get away with some stuff in this battery depending if you can, if you're on the road or whatever and you're not at where your motorcycle's going to be. But here's a 500 watt solar generator. I only got 3 bars left on it, but I'm charging at 30 watts. Usually this will charge like, I thought 26, but I think like 26 to 32. Once it falls below 26 watts, starts going to like 19 watts charge, 10 watts. I know the battery's pretty charged. And if I don't have time, once this goes down to 0 watts, and this light will go green when it's fully charged, or this light will go green, and this should be at 0 watts, so it won't be charging. But even you only charge it for like an hour if you don't have a lot of time. But if I don't got a lot of time, I just don't feel like waiting around. I'll wait till that drops below like 26 watts. I know it's almost charged. And here's the battery charger or maintainer. And if it's orange, like it is right now, it's charging and it'll go green. think that bar to the right goes green. If I recall exactly, that means it's fully charged. And this is the one I bought. You can buy a bunch of different ones. This is a 1.5 amp battery maintainer. And it's Schumacher. And you can read right there for power sports car, boat batteries. It works for motorcycle batteries, right? TV batteries too. It says 6 volt, 12 volt vehicle detection. But what I noticed with these, if I let this charge after the bar hits green on my battery charger too, and I just let it sit, my last battery wasn't in good shape. It started having that stuff that corrosion comes after I did that one night. Because one time I left my key in the ignition on, and my battery was totally dead in the morning. But I was able to jump it with my battery jumper. I put it into, I don't know, it was emergency mode or overload mode or whatever, that special mode where if your battery's like totally dead, you can jump. And I jumped it, and then that night I charged it. And I don't know, like 6 hours or something. I don't know, 6 to 8 hours. But after I did that, I started getting battery corrosion. But that battery was getting old, and I didn't fill it up with that. The water levels are all messed up. I didn't know really to check the water levels in that battery. I didn't take care. But I bought a new battery, and that other battery too. I had one of the post break, and so I had to get a new battery anyways, and it was getting old. This one's a new one, so I'm gonna take better care of it, hopefully. But if you're on the road and you're living in your vehicle, you got your stuff in storage, or even if you're living on the streets without a vehicle, like sometimes I do. I got my e-bike right there. I load up with my sleeping bag and bedroll. Unless it's real hot, and well, usually I'll carry a light sleeping bag on even if it's real hot. I carry a tarp, but you can always get one of these solar generators. And it said this connection don't have 3 prongs on it, whatever they're called. And I heard if you're going to be charging up a battery to get something, that has a ground, this one doesn't even have it has a ground slot you can put into. But this is safe if you charge with a solar generator. I did it a couple times. And I have a solar panel with these 2 hookups. I could just put this in the sun out here. As long as it's sunny, it's not cloudy. And it could charge it up that way too, the solar panel. But this thing isn't supposed to bubble, I don't think, with this. But when this is on here for a while, I think this starts boiling in here a little bit until it shuts off. But same with the solar panel. It says it's a trickle charger, but the battery water will start boiling. I don't recall, because I'd be charging I don't remember if my car battery or this, but I know if I put the solar panel on this, it's a low wattage solar panel. But yeah, if you're in an emergency situation, like I camp a lot, have a solar generator, have a battery jumper, and have a battery charger, and have an odometer. Whether you got a vehicle or whatever, even for your vehicle, that solar battery charger will work too. Even like if you have a vehicle, I'm renting this U-Haul van I'm living in right now. But even if you got a vehicle and you're at a camp spot and you're not going to go nowhere for like, a couple weeks or something, you can charge your car battery up with that solar panel. Opening up your door and closing it to your vehicle, the battery will start draining. But and never, you could take your battery out and charge it too, but don't put it on the concrete. Just get some wood, get like a 2x6 or something, 2x4, and try to have it at least a couple inches, if not, maybe like at least 6 inches off the floor, off the concrete. You don't want to charge your battery on the concrete. But this battery's hard to take in and out. I mean, it's not that hard, but it's a little more like a car battery. I could just, on the cars I had, just unscrew the two terminals and take it right out. This one is a real tight fit. I gotta take this strap off, wiggle it out, and they got this tube. If you can see that tube right there for the air vent, I gotta take out and on. But if you gotta change a battery, then it's very simple. And you know, check your water levels. I gotta take the battery out to check my water levels, and I think it said check it once a month. But you know, depending on your weather you're in, I would check it like once every couple months or once every 3 months at least. But this is a 500 watt solar generator. It's getting old. I think it's like 4 years old now. But I mean, you can even do this with like 250 watt. You know, I mean, if you had a lower one, like, I don't know, where they got a 150 watt one, you know, you can put your solar panel out in the sun and be charging your solar generator while it's charging your motorcycle as you have sunlight. But this will take, like, to fully charge it, you know, if you just had like a new battery and you had to charge it for like, I don't know, 6 hours or whatever it was, this might not have enough wattage to do that. But it takes like, I don't know, maybe an hour or two to charge this battery, enough for me at least. I only got, let's see if this thing fell. Okay, I still got 3 bars, so I got anywhere from 200 to 300 watts in this solar generator. Once that bar falls, I got anywhere from 1 to 200 watts. Oh, see, there it goes to 17. So I didn't have to charge it that much because I've been taking care of this. So I can unplug this pretty soon, and I'll be able to head out of here. Because I rent this van right here, and I take off for about a month and then come back. Yeah, I've been having to do that for a while. But if you ever had to do that, rent a U-Haul van or even a 10-foot truck's nice to live in to get your vehicle situation. Because I'm working construction. I got to have my tools and a place to sleep. And if I just do my hair, I can't really carry much of these saddlebags. And I'm far away from my storage shed, unless I got one close to work. But I'd have to sleep on the street. And I could carry a sleeping bag back there. I have had a garbage bag on the back of this where I tie it down with a sleeping bag in it, like pillow and a tarp and a couple extra clothes. But this is how I do it. Taking care of my battery. And this is a 250 motorcycle. I wish I had a, I think it's, I don't know, it's a Yamaha 200 TW. This is a V-Star, but that's a dual bike, the 200 TW. I think it's Yamaha. And that's all. It can have a rack on front, a rack on back. This one guy had it hooked up because I do ride this down dirt roads in the forest. I go slow, and I have had like 50 pounds. I had an ice chest on the back of this, and these saddlebags loaded, and I had a big backpack loaded. But I had, I don't know, 40 to like 60, 70 pounds of stuff plus my weight. One time my back tire almost slid out when I was going down this bumpy dirt road because it has the ruts in it. And man, this back tire almost slid out. I almost crashed with an ice chest full of groceries. But this will work, people, if you got to do this. Let's set up right here.